A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew,
Glory to you, Lord.
chapter 18, verses 21 to 35. Then Peter asked him, Lord, how many times must I forgive my offenses of my brother or sister? 7 times? Jesus answered, No, not 7 times, but 77 times. This story throws light on the kingdom of heaven. A king decided to settle accounts with his servants. Among the first of them was one who owed him 10,000 pieces of gold. As the man could not repay the debt, the king commanded that he should be sold as a slave with his wife and his children and all his goods as repayment. The servant threw himself at the feet of the king and said, Give me time and I will pay you back everything. The king took pity on him and not only set him free, but even cancelled his debts. When this servant left the king's presence, he met one of his fellow servants who owed him 100 pieces of silver. He grabbed him by the throat and almost choked him, shouting, Pay me what you owe. His fellow servants threw himself and at his feet and begged him, Give me time and I will pay everything. But the other did not agree and sent him to prison until he had paid all his debt. Now the servants of the king saw what had happened. They were extremely upset, and so they went and reported everything to their lord. Then the Lord summoned his servant and said, Wicked servant, I forgave you all that you owed me when you begged me to do so. Weren't you bound to have pity on your fellow servant, as I had pity on you? The Lord was angry. He handed the wicked servant over to be punished until he had paid the whole debt. Jesus added, So will my heavenly Father do with you, unless you sincerely forgive your brothers and sisters. This is the gospel of the Lord.
Praise you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Dear brothers and sisters, often in time, it's a fascinating thing to know the Holy Bible teaches very strongly about forgiveness like no one else. And Jesus himself set the example of forgiveness. The Pharisees, the scribes gathered together. They plotted against Jesus for nothing. But in their mind it was that he was breaking the law, and therefore they took him to the cross. And what Jesus said on the cross before dying, Lord, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Probably this is the greatest example on earth that anyone forgiving the fellow enemy or the fellow wrongdoer. And so also it is demanding on us that we as Christians who follow the footsteps of Christ must follow his ways of forgiving. There is a short story. Two brothers were staying in a farmhouse. They were so good, very nice. They were working together, having fun together. They shared the crops, they shared the produce, and everything was going on well. And they grew up together. And finally one day, there was a very, very small misunderstanding. And then they did not give up, but then they went on arguing with each other. And then it became fight, quarrel, and then silence. There was a division and there was enmity between them. On a one fine day, one carpenter, a stray worker, he just came in the elder brother's house and he said, Sir, I have no job, but if you have some job, please offer me. Then you give me whatever you please as the wages. So the elder brother was thinking what to offer him. He was not in a position to give money or something like that. So he told him, see, in the farms there are many trees. Cut down some of them, and that side my younger brother is there. I don't want him to cross over and come this side. So what you do, cut down those trees and build up nice fence so that he doesn't come over here and nothing of me goes that side. This carpenter understood what was the message. And afterwards, this elder brother went away for some work, and the carpenter started his work. He cut down those trees and beautifully he carved, and he made a bridge between these two brothers for property. This side, the elder brother's property, and that side, younger brother's property. Beautiful, very aesthetic. What he told was to make a fence, and this carpenter made a bridge between these two houses. And the younger brother saw this, and he was so taken up. Look, my elder brother, how great he is, how generous he is. He is the elder to me, and yet because of this and because of these grudges that we have been away from each other, we have been far from each other, we have been plotting against each other. But my elder brother is so great, he has made a beautiful bridge. And he waited no time. He just crossed over the bridge, he ran over this side, and he met his elder brother. He hugged him, kissed him, and in tears he said, I'm so sorry, you are so great, you are so big-hearted, and I made a mistake. And then he said, and he cried and hugged him. And what happened with the elder brother? He also cried and kissed and hugged him. He said, I am sorry, it all happened by mistake. Dear brothers and sisters, the moral of the story is, when you give love, you get love. When you give hatred, you get hatred. So, as we have been speaking here in this whole week, in fact, forgiveness is something that is unique to Christian community. And for us and for everybody to live in peace and to make progress, peace is a must. Forgiveness is a must. Hatred breeds great hatred, and therefore keep away all these hatreds and make ways for peace. Amen.
Was